Hey y'all, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. This is actually a day after Christmas. I'm going to try to get this done today and get it to you tomorrow. Monday's usually when I come out with videos. I'm a day late, so apologize for that, but I didn't think it'd be that big of a deal. I want to continue on with my discussion from last week about earning a second buck here in Michigan. If you haven't watched that, go back, watch that video. It's about 10 minutes or so. I discuss kind of the breakdown of what we're talking about, and we're trying to get some regulations changed here in Michigan. What I forgot to mention was that earn a second buck where there's does, where there's too many does in the population, is going to be in different regions of Michigan. Like the Upper Peninsula of Michigan can't afford to lose does, so it wouldn't apply up in the UP. Now, southern parts of Michigan, rural areas, tons and tons of does. So there's going to be by region, and there's lots of things to discuss and lots of things to go about, ways to doing it. And the DNR, the Department of Natural Resources, so there's tons of departments in the Department of Natural Resources, the DNR. There's a conservation officer side. There is the wildlife biologist in the regions all over the state. There is a deer biologist, specific deer and elk biologist. His name's Chad Stewart. There is a fish biologist. There is, you name it, fish, birds, animals, everything that the department kind of looks after and tries to manage. Now, when they set regulations, they go to the NRC, the National Resource Commission. That is a group, a panel of people. I'm not quite sure how many there is, 10, 12, that are nominated by the governor to go on this panel, and they set the laws, the regulation. So the DNR comes up with the recommendations. They go to the NRC, and they say, okay, this is what we think we should do, and the NRC votes on that. And usually majority wins. Let's say there's 11 people. If 6 voted to change the regulation and 5 didn't, the 6 would win. And that's so they got a big uptake in. And if you go to a meeting, an NRC meeting, as a matter of fact, you can watch them through the MUCC website, Michigan United Conservation Club's website, or they do live stream them. They're once a month on Thursdays. You'll see they don't talk about, they talk about a lot of the fisheries, a lot of the lakes and streams and rivers, a lot more than they talk about like deer, for example. So, that being said, you kind of got to do your homework a little bit on how that kind of works. Deer hunters are very passionate. I don't know how many licenses were sold this year. Usually it's around 600,000, between 500 and 600,000 licenses. It's been dropping year after year. It rose a little bit during the COVID pandemic, and I think it dropped back down. But it's like that in the entire United States. We're losing hunters. We're losing population as far as that goes. Like, it's just native population, meaning Americans. We're just not having as many babies as, and the bigger threat, I think one of the biggest threats, even a lot of the experts have said, population, like human population, is decreasing. I think all over the world. I'm not positive, but I'm not going to get into that. That's already wasted enough time on that. So I wanted to talk about something that Michiganders and people that are already kind of doing this, and it's called quality deer management cooperatives, or deer co-ops for short. I have a little pamphlet here from the Quality Deer Management Association, which is now called the National Deer Association. I still catch myself calling it the QDMA, but QDM, Quality Deer Management, I believe is one of the best overall ways to manage a deer herd. And you can do it with your neighbors. What is a deer co-op? It's co-op, a group of landowners or hunters willing to work together to improve the quality of the deer herd, hunting experiences on their collective acreage. I have a privilege of working with one of the best deer co-ops, I believe, in the nation. But it's in southern Mecosta County. It's 4 to 8 townships wide. I mean, they have a very successful buck pull. Word is spread. They've been on Michigan Out of Doors. They've written articles into this stuff. But there's lots of good deer co-ops. There's one in northern Michigan. There's a Thumb co-op. And then you take APRs in the northwest 12, 13 counties and look at their success. And because of the instant, how you shot a deer, they changed that you shot a deer this year, and within 72 hours you had to register it online or with your phone or through the website, whatever it may be. A lot of people, you're never going to make anybody happy. I think I've said that before, but people are now, you have to drop a pin where you've shot it. Well, you don't have to necessarily drop the pin exactly where you put it. As long as the pin is somewhere close. Actually, I've heard people putting the pins in Lake Michigan for all that matter. I don't even know why they put that on there. But to me, when I did my pin, I just put it, I think, where it popped up on the screen, because you put your kind of address in and you know who shoot it. So I just kind of push save from there. I don't even know exactly where it was. This close to my property, but might have been out by the road or on the mailbox. I'm not sure. So I just push save. You can put that pin anywhere, but to me, getting the most accurate information possible helps the DNR make those recommendations for your area. But these deer co-ops are all voluntary. You work with your neighbors. You call them up, hey, let's get together. Let's what do you guys think? I want to do some people do wide as their ears as far as like an unwritten rule. Some people go APR, antler point restrictions, 4 on one side. I hunted like that since the late 90s, early 2000s. In our hunt group there, we decided a 4 points on one side. And they're still doing it today. I'm not in that group now, but they're still doing it today. Slippery. So anyway, deer co-ops are successful. They're voluntary, but they are a lot of work. It's just like running a QDMA branch, which I try to do. It's hard. Voluntary, and it's hard to get together. It's hard to get a group together. It's hard to get like-minded people, and I don't even care if they're like-minded people. We all care about deer, and we all like deer hunting. That should be enough. And disagreements are good. Disagreements, if done, these days we run away from disagreements. We get pissed off. We start yelling at each other, and that doesn't solve anything. And we learn that from the freaking politicians out there. How much hate and just different people, different-minded people can't get along. It's ridiculous. We have to work together. You work with many different people. You have to find a way, and you have to do it civilly, even if you don't like them, and you have to take a break or say, I'm leaving, but don't ever walk away from it. Go back, cool down, write some things down, some bullet points, maybe 3 things that you go into a meeting with and go, this is what I want to discuss. And you sit there and you have a conversation. Maybe you play cards. Maybe you play a game. Maybe, I don't know, have some sort of fun about it. But this thing's been a long time coming about, neighbors being mad at neighbors, and we can't, it's just getting off track here a little bit. I want to get back to the co-ops. Benefits of a QDMA co-op: you get a better herd age structure is what we want. In Michigan, we're killing more bucks than does, almost triple the amount. So when you go to breeding, the age structure in the overall deer herd, a lot of the younger bucks are breeding older does. We would like to reverse that. We would like to have older bucks breeding younger does. You have more mature bucks in a deer co-op because you can say, hey, we want to do as wide as its ears. So if a buck is as wide as its ears, you can kind of guess that it's at least 2.5 years old. That's my favorite one anyway. That's my favorite unwritten rule, is wide as its ears. But if you only have one antler, and there's also, of course, of exceptions. Also, other exceptions are veteran hunters that, old hunters, veteran hunters, handicap hunters, or youth hunters. Some of these rules don't apply to any of them. You see a lot more deer. You see a lot more deer in their natural state. Lower cost for management and habitat improvements. Access to larger pools of harvest, meaning you can get together and say, hey, this is what I shot. This is what I'm seeing. Hey, do we need to kill more does? Hey, I don't think we need to kill any does. How are you seeing for bucks? Are you seeing any predators? How's your habitat looking? Lots of things. And you guys can go after each other's properties. You can try to eliminate poaching and control trespassing. Establishing ones, again, meetings, develop realistic goals, set up a committee. You could even get members. You could do a board. You could do fundraisers. Lots of things you could do. Explain the benefits. You could have people come in and speak. You could have the DNR come. You could have other wildlife biologists come. You could have deer habitat gurus come and talk to your group. If you want one of these, let me know. I can send you one. I have a few of these that I can send out. But I think they're very beneficial. And could help your group, your area, carry on the tradition of getting to that next step and getting your hunting groups having more fun out there in the woods, seeing more deer, shooting more deer. And again, on that doe thing too, if you're like, well, I don't need that much meat, or our group can't hold that much meat, we have tons of does, we need to shoot them, but we don't know what to do with them, and I'm not going to spend $20 a tag on them. Hunters for hungry, hunters to heal. There's lots of groups out there. You can contact a QDMA or the NDA, contact me. We can take in that meat, take it to a butcher, get it processed, and then donate that meat away to Hunters for Hungry, all different sorts of soup kitchens, meals, and you wouldn't have to come out of your pocket. You get to shoot the deer, have the fun, but pass on the cost somewhere else, and that's why we do this thing. So I rambled on enough. I think I was all over the place there. I'm sorry. Just trying to fit too many things in once. We're home from the hospital. I've been home for 4 or 5 days. I'm still getting my bearings together. I'm still catching up on sleep. My daughter has physical therapy this week, but we're looking forward each day. Day in, day out, it gets better and better, and we're looking forward. I'm just looking forward to get back out here in the shop, get the taxidermy stuff going. I've got habitat work to get scheduled. I got some properties to visit, a forester to meet. So I'm trying to get busy, trying to promote, and hopefully you are too. And I appreciate you watching, sticking with me. Hopefully I didn't confuse you. Ask me any questions, and I appreciate it. Look at the affiliates. There's some after Christmas sales that might be good, but those small percentages help me out a little bit. So God bless you. God bless our troops. God bless the USA. Let's keep this hunting tradition alive. See ya.